according to several studies, we know how those are, couples who reported to be happy and satisfied in their relationships/marriages are more likely to gain weight.
Yeah, I came back like 10 pounds heavier. That was like temporary. We went to New Orleans, gained like 10 pounds. Like a couple of those things happened.
The
butter on
like
it,
ice cream scoops worth of butter,
and it just melts with the warm bread.
Dude, I
in
used to
your
just
mouth.
sit there and watch my kids eat bread, and I would just be like sweating. Do you guys have any idea how fucking fat we would be if we all lived together and each other all the time?
He just wanted to. Wait, what was that?
He threw that last bit in there.
Just hella casually. Hella just slid it in. At home, Sam and I, we do not buy. Like, we don't buy things. Like, she could be a chocolate queen. Well, she is a chocolate queen, but like she loves the food. She loves the food type of chocolate too, right?
But you said the same thing about when you went to college, you know, and you said the same thing about how you're going to lose weight next year, and now it's next year, and we're still waiting for the follow through. Like, so I would just be cautious of that. It's great to enjoy each other. It's fucking enjoy the shit out of each other and fuck each other until you can't use your shit anymore. Like, all that stuff's great. Do it for hours on end and see how long you can go for. What I think we don't realize, the most powerful thing you can do for other people is to be a fucking savage, and is to take care of your own shit for yourself, which seems selfish is not necessarily selfish. Women need to be in the kitchen, and they need to be wearing an outfit of a man's choice.
Who are you, Elliot Hulse?
A French maid outfit.
Dog, Elliot be spitting some wild shit. I gotta really
a nurse,
say.
maybe the next. I feel a little congested. I'm not feeling great.
Power Project family, how's it going? Now, we talked to you guys about the legendary Tasty Pastries before, which are great, but they have come out with these cinnamon sweet rolls.
Oh, they're so good.
This one's blueberry. You're supposed to warm them up for 15 seconds before you eat it, but
You love these ads.
they're really fucking good. I love these ads because I can just eat 20 grams of protein, 5 grams of net carbs, and they taste amazing. You guys need to check them out. Andrew, where can they get it?
You guys really do need to try these. You guys got to head over to eatlegendary.com, and at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject to save 20% off your entire order. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
It's something I heard. I have not checked into it. I don't know.
I heard it on Rogan, so I mean, it's true.
Probably a bunch of old white guys trying to I don't know, make things seem different than they really are.
That used to be my thing for everything. I heard it on Rogan, so it must be true.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, anyways, we're rolling now. So
We should just spout false things and just be act like they're totally true. And then people be like, I just heard it on the Power Project.
Yeah.
It's probably true.
yeah,
I think we've been doing that.
Have we?
2 hours of sleep.
Yeah. Telling people to eat meat and fruit and stay away from processed foods and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We don't have any proof that does anything.
We're just slowly giving everybody cancer.
See? And making people tremendously fat.
Let's go.
Oh,
Right?
Let's go.
are we?
I think so.
Hey, Andrew, you had a story?
Oh yeah.
Story.
Of course, I don't have it ready, but just so our boy Drew. So he's the one that does our timestamps and stuff. But you guys are gonna fucking love this, by the way. But we were going back and forth, and I forgot how we got there. But he was like, "Dude, you guys gave me the best gift ever." So his mom listens to the show now because she's like, "Well, I want to know what my son's doing."
And they're in India.
So you could imagine. I mean, I'm assuming some of the topics that we get into probably not openly accepted in certain countries, maybe. But anyways, so she is now a fan of the show. She knows Mark Bell. She knows Nsima. She knows me.
Yo.
She went she went and got a personal trainer. And so as they're communicating, whatever, she knows all the lingo. She knows all the muscle groups. And he was very impressed, wow, you know all these different things. And she's just yeah, I work with Mark Bell. And then the trainer was really, I love Mark Bell. So she gave him he gave her an awesome discount. And so now because she's in so her son and her both will work on some of the projects together.
Yeah.
So because they're all in the circle, they got hooked up with a little discount because they know Mark Bell.
That's amazing.
That's fucking amazing.
Cool.
I was running in Austin, and I ran past this bank kind of like a Capitol building type of looking thing, kind of like the spot that we ran or we walked to when you and I were there years ago.
Oh,
Andrew.
yeah.
And there was like security guys outside. And I was like, these guys, they're dead ringers. Like, there's no way they're not going to know who I am. And sure enough, I run past them, and one guy's like he gives me like the big guy like head nod thing, the head tilt thing, and the other guy that's next to him goes, "Holy shit!" He goes, "That's Mark Bell." And the guy's like, "That is Mark Bell." And I'm just like running around the corner. It's just weird sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's cool. It's amazing. It's amazing to get like recognized for some of this stuff. Never was trying to necessarily do that. Just trying to pump out some good info to some peeps, and then I don't know.
Yeah,
It's strange.
that's so cool.
Don't know how to react to it a lot of times. And I was talking with Zach Tolander and Chris Williamson about it, and we were just saying like how shitty we are sometimes at a compliment, and this could be like a noteworthy thing for people listening. Somebody gives you a compliment, just take it. You know, do your best to just try to. You're gonna find that you deflect a lot. Someone's like, "Oh my God, you're losing weight."
Just trying to get like you, bro.
Yeah. There's so much of that happens, right?
Just trying to get,
You know,
big
hey,
like
you look
bro.
really nice in that shirt or whatever. Someone just, all it takes is somebody likes the show. Somebody likes something that you posted. Oh my God, that's amazing. I'm glad you liked it. Or you could have a follow-up question and you can get in maybe some good conversation. But I think we have a tendency to really deflect, you know, and I don't know why, because I think you are trying to get recognized or noticed for something in particular. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have posted about it or talked about it or spent money having a show or various things that you might be doing to try to get attention, getting new shoes or a nice car or I don't know, anything.
Trying.
Yeah. Getting your car washed. Hey, your car looks great. Like
This whole thing.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much. I just washed her up.
Yeah, it was like I remember I was in line at In-N-Out and I was like on my phone and I had a lot on my mind. And then so I ordered and then I just like kind of like just walked straight through the line. And then I came around to like get the food. And the people that I kind of cut off were just like, "Dude, my husband loves your show." And I was like, oh shit. Like, I hope I wasn't like rude to them or anything, you know, like in like being in my own head. But In-N-Out, yeah, somebody was just like, "Dude, yeah, we've been listening to you guys for a long time." I can't remember his name, but he was super nice. And I was just like, oh shit, I'm like, that's fucking cool. Like, that doesn't happen to me. But, you know, this guy, he recognized me from the show. And, you know, I was like, damn, I, again, hope I wasn't like rude or anything. That would be fucking terrible.
So 2 things, guys. The shirt Mark's wearing right now, our website, info@powerproject.live. All right, you can get your...
It's just powerproject.live.
Powerproject.live. Why do I keep using the email address?
I don't know.
Powerproject.live. This devil pussy mug, right? Don't get trapped by devil pussy. It's at powerproject.live. And please, guys, you guys have helped us out a lot. We got thousands of ratings now on Spotify and Apple and everywhere. But it does help the pod out if you rate. Just give us a star rating on wherever you listen to it. And maybe write a review if you got a little extra time for your boys.
All the information too about our tour that we're going to be going on. I think
dick pumps.
You just
want to make a bigger dick.
You were just booking Iceland, right? It was one of the spots we're going to. Was that the first one, or
it was Iceland?
I hope it's not Iceland because I did not book my flight for Iceland first.
Yeah. And
we're going to be all over the place.
We're going to Iceland, then we're going to Nigeria. We're not going to Nigeria. We can't go to Nigeria. Sadly,
you don't know anybody over there?
I do. That's why I'm not.
But everybody's jacked. You know how it be over there,
man. You know, real talk though. It is. I'll be real short about this, but my grandma is. There's going to be a funeral down there, a whole big thing down there because she was 100. So we're sending her body back, and my mom's sister are going to go down to Nigeria. But even family is like, oof, we got to get in and get out because like going to certain places over there, it's still not like super safe. Like sometimes people attract people from like the airport and shit, and like they know they're Americans. Woo, it's a risk. So yeah, I'm not going. And it hurts. It really hurts to say that because like you know, even my mom was telling me stories where there have been people who have like done well in the U.S. and they want to go back and help out. But then some of them just end up being they wind up dead. It's some shit, man. It's some shit, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I've heard from some other people too, like talking about the differences between other countries, and I think in this country we have a tendency to kind of feel like we like quote unquote like shoot each other's successes down, but I think in other countries like shit's so violent and there's so many things going on that like literally they might shoot down your hopes and dreams, or when someone has a success, and then somewhere like England, places like that where it's kind of a little bit more baked into the culture, where they have like a lot of satire. They kind of come from a negative. There's kind of a lot of negative talk, like the weather's shitty and stuff like that, and so they kind of do it as a joke, but they also trap each other and don't allow each other to really like rise above anybody. Like no one's allowed to kind of leave the nest or be, more successful. Whereas even though it seems like it's kind of negative here in the United States, it's fairly positive for the most part. You're going to have friends, you're going to have family, you're going to have people that, try to hold you back or make a comment here and there. But most people are like, oh, that's great. Mm-hmm. That's really cool. Mm-hmm. That, it's amazing that first of all, that we even have the opportunity to do all this stuff. The luxury of coming in here and like lifting weights and then podcasting whenever the fuck we want is like, all of it is really a huge blessing, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but the guy that was in here when we had Ben the Bounce, when like somebody in the UK is like being happy or they're being jolly, like, ugh, quit being so American.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I think it was Andre or somebody, some Russian we were talking to said that if somebody walks down the street with a smile, they legit think you're crazy in Russia.
They're going to smack that fucking smile right off your face.
Yeah. Ain't nothing to smile about right now.
Man, it's that cold. Fuck, what the fuck is there to smile about? Mm. Yeah. Weren't we about to talk about some rotund individual?
We were about to talk about something that we saw on. We have a couple things we can bring.
I love rotund.
It's a good word.
It's a great word.
Trying to expand my vocabulary.
But yeah, this was brought to my attention, and I guess we'll just play the clip and try to respond to it. I haven't even really seen either one of these or thought about them much, so it'd be kind of cool to see them fresh.
Does this one have audio?
It does.
Okay.
I think so. Actually, it might just be music, but I don't know.
Well, the caption says, real quick, science has found that couples who really love each other tend to gain weight. That's where the caption starts. Bro.
Hey, now.
Let's see what this is about.
Stupid audio or music.
Yeah.
Yeah, just her being confused.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's where she started, and him.
Oh.
Whoa.
That's where they ended up.
Hey, now.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Chill with y'all reactions. Okay.
Yeah.
Andrew's like, all right.
I mean,
and Mark's like, ooh, like,
but
all right, guys.
Hold on. Pause.
I know.
Look it.
I see. For those of you who are listening, how do I word this?
She's what? One.
They look young.
They look. Oh, god damn.
120, 125, one.
Yeah.
She's just smaller. Okay.
No shit. What is she?
We don't know the height.
she's just unsmaller.
I mean, they both got a little bit bigger. But the interesting thing is, couples that love each other tend to gain weight together. Mm-hmm. Why the fuck is that a scientist saying? Like, where does this article come from? I'm really curious.
Yeah, I wonder. It's probably like some just kind of bullshit article.
And it says that scientists found that couples who really love each other tend to gain weight.
All right, real quick, let me read this. This is from the article. The idea that happy couples gain weight when they love each other sounds slightly far-fetched, but surprisingly, there's evidence that supports this statement. According to several studies, we know how those are, couples who reported to be happy and satisfied in their relationships/marriages are more likely to gain weight.
Interesting. And you know what, though? I got to point out that I don't know anything about this particular study, but I wonder if that's a little bit true of people in general. Like if somebody is just happier, like if somebody reaches, say, like a financial freedom and they're relinquished of some of the burdens they've had previously. They just graduated college and now they got a job and they're not making a lot of money, but they have a career that they're starting, and maybe they're starting out with a very modest income, but for the first time they're able to like not just live off of like top ramen.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because they're psychologically maybe in a little bit better place. Yeah, maybe they do. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say because they also say that about going to college too, right? Like the freshman 15 or whatever it is. I don't think people were particularly happy during COVID and they gained weight. So I just wonder, like it's a really interesting kind of question in general.
That's a very American study. I'll put it
Yeah.
like even when I think
Or just
about
ideology, right?
it's a very American ideology because like, yeah, okay. Couples who tend to love each other stay together longer. Maybe they become more successful with each other. But in America, when it comes to what people look at as success, it's like, let's make more money. We're able to move into a new place. We do more. We also have the ability to buy more, eat more. It's in America, more is always better. And that also comes down to food. Like we are a nation of indulgence. So it's like, if you're becoming more successful together, it is typical for couples to also gain weight together because health and nutrition isn't the thing that's put up on a pedestal for more people. The marker of success is more money, better job, better house, but not necessarily your health and fitness.
And the happiness and love thing are both things that are kind of hard to pin down, whereas weight gain is like a little bit more factual.
And
like, oh, we're super in love. Like it's hard to judge that.
I see what you mean, yeah.
And in terms of food, in terms of happiness, certain types of food are linked to people feeling better. Like when you're stressed and you want to feel good, Ben and Jerry's, give me s'more, will do the fucking trick. But then when you're able to do that a lot and you're comfortable with your partner, it's, I mean, I have in past relationships, past relationships, both some of the people I was with, they both gained a bit of weight through the relationship. I didn't because I was I didn't because I was focused. Like I was a personal trainer. Health and fitness was my thing. So whenever I did gain weight, it was very purposeful. I was on a bulk, but even so, it's like both my partners, because they got comfortable, they both did gain some weight versus when we started off, which is a very interesting thing. It's like, people do tend to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it seems to make a lot of sense that you're expressing ways of enjoying each other. And maybe like the thing you can come up with is to go to eat. Maybe you don't have like a lot of other go-tos. Some people don't love to like go to a movie because then they can't really interact as much. And then like how many good, like there's not always that many good movies. So I think our ways of interacting, it's helpful if you can reinterpret them, but I don't know how to reinterpret them when the list of things that we do together sometimes is very short. And I know it's boring and no one fucking cares, but you could go on a walk together. You could go on a bike ride together. You can go hiking together. You could go swimming together. You could go lift together. Like there's a lot of things that you could do together, but I do understand that I'm a crazy person and that it's way different than just going out to eat.
Yeah. Did you watch Black Adam or no?
Oh yeah.
How was it?
It was good.
How good?
I say, okay, you know what? I think The Rock did a great job. I dug it a lot. It was good because it was dark. I gotta come back to what Mark mentioned about
we are
crazy.
because I wanted to
I know.
pull up another video, but he had mentioned going to the movies and it just clicked, and I know I was going to forget about it later.
Yeah. Black Adam was really good. I'd suggest people go see it. And that end credit scene, I'm not going to ruin it, but ooh, God,
Good stuff.
paid off. Okay.
So we got another one here.
Oh no.
Where's the thing? Whatever. You can see it, right?
Real quick, before we start this video, Mark, when you and Andy got together, did either of you guys gain weight? I mean, you did.
That was way later.
I know you. Yeah, that was way later when she was. Hambone.
That's great. Hambone made it on the screen. And Ben the Bounce was doing his little dance.
There we go.
But okay, so you did it for powerlifting and also.
Well, that was way later.
That was way later.
Yeah, years and years later. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe that wasn't a great example.
I don't think. Well, I was going to say we didn't. Neither one of us gained any weight.
Yeah.
When we met each other.
Okay.
That I can recall. Yeah, there are like times where we gained weight. Like we went to Hawaii for our honeymoon, and I came back like 10 pounds heavier. But that was like temporary. We went to New Orleans, gained like 10 pounds. Like a couple of those things happened.
Okay.
But I didn't have skill sets to I don't know.
Habits to combat.
I didn't have skill set to mitigate some of that.
So this clip, just the first frame says, "Me before meeting my boyfriend and me a year after being together."
I think this one's just music too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Here we go. So
Looking pretty good shape there. Fit.
very
Going to the
fit.
gym.
Look at
Still
that.
fit.
Still fit.
Cool.
Head tilt. Upside down.
Careful with y'all reactions. All right. Okay. All right.
Then she gained some weight.
Just a little bit.
I don't think we saw like previously we didn't see like her do that exact thing that she did at the end. So like I don't know, but
Real quick, let me just also say, because man, this is a very interesting episode because we are in shape and we promote being healthy, right? We're not trying to shit on people who are out of shape, okay? Love yourself, care for yourself, but also we are in the business of trying to help people pick up better habits so they can become healthier. So understand, we're not trying to drag these people. We ain't dragging y'all.
Also, Andrew, do you think people having some extra body fat on them is harmful?
No, not at all.
And Nsima?
Not a little extra body fat.
Right.
Guess
Somebody gaining some weight, at some point in their life, even getting maybe distant to their like quote unquote fighting weight, somebody gaining 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, and holding on to that weight for a couple of years, probably not the worst thing, like probably not super detrimental in most cases.
And you can also maintain decent habits, though, but it's not super detrimental as long as you try to walk a bit and be a little active.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say maybe like if the duration is like super sudden, and then because then it's like, well, you were able to do that. Like if you give yourself more time, like you probably do a lot more damage. But if it's just like I guess I'll say a slow burn, then maybe. And then in some cases, I don't know, like a little bit of extra something on a chick like looks really good. So like it's not the worst thing ever.
Extra something.
Little something.
I would say like and this by no means is like anything that I don't know. I'm just gonna make this up, but I think people could probably gain about 10% of their own body weight, like extra. So if you weighed 200 pounds, you could potentially gain 20 pounds and like probably be in a zone that's fine, right? And not have a big deal. But if you normally weighed 200 pounds and you weigh 255 or 270, you probably want to start to think about what are some strategies, what are some things that I could do that could maybe introduce some healthier habits into my life. And I'm not even talking about losing weight. But what Nsima said, I always like Nsima always comes from the energy output side, which is a great place to start for a lot of people. Some people, that might be really hard because maybe they have a hard time putting one foot in front of the other, like from a mental perspective. So then, therefore, you might want to try to figure out how to attack things from the input side, from the food side of things. But somebody that normally would weigh 200 pounds, they now weigh 270. You want to start to consider, maybe I can lift weights. Maybe I can go on some hikes here and there. Maybe, instead of the weekend of playing video games, maybe I can, do something different, like just get some exercise incorporated. I think those are all fair. So I don't even think or believe that having some excess body fat on you is even really dangerous.
Also, along with that, you're right. Having a little excess body fat isn't dangerous, but let's think about couples and getting into relationships, because again, I guess I'm lucky that I was able to have relationships where, I still kept my habits, but my partner wasn't about some of those habits. So when I would want to go, like, hey, I'm going to go on a walk. Want to come? Nah, not really. And there would also maybe be like some like pissing on me wanting to go on just a walk together, right? Like, oh, that's boring. Let's go eat somewhere, right? I think it'd be beneficial if you're in a relationship and let's say that you do find that you guys aren't progressing in terms of your health together, what kind of habits can you guys do together that will lead you in the right direction? Can you go on a few walks together? That's why I'm so happy with my girl, is like We go on walks all the time. We go on long walks and just talk, right? But those walks aren't meant to be exercise.
Are you walking behind her, staring at her butt the whole time?
The whole time. And any man that walks in her direction and even tries to look at her, I'm looking at him.
Staring at him hard.
Staring at him hard. It's like, yeah, I know what you see. You better look at me, though. Don't let those eyes go down.
For some reason, when you said that, I just pictured you in your gi, like cinching up your brown belt.
Just getting ready to double leg some motherfucker.
Weird. Why is that guy in his gi?
Like, we get it, but why are you, like, you're still showing off by wearing the gi? That's weird.
Walking like he's got like a couple of his medals around his neck from his tournaments and stuff.
It's like, dude, there's also like blood all over the gi. Like, don't you want to wash that out? It's like, no, I want to show what's happened before you.
But yes, I will kill a motherfucker. I'm joking.
I agree 100%. It's really nice to have somebody that you can do a lot of this stuff with. And, you know, I don't even know what to say about somebody that if you're trying to implement some of that and somebody's negative about that, that's just like, that's a tough spot to be in.
A lot of people run into that. I know I've had personal training clients in the past. I had some women and I had some men that were both like, yeah, my partner is really not about all this, or their partner's starting to feel a little bit insecure about them getting into better shape. And I know you've probably dealt with that too, right? Mm-hmm. That is tough. And maybe sometimes you need to, because you can still love your partner even if they don't have the healthiest habits, but it's something you want to evaluate, because over time, if your health is something that you really care about, the long-term health of yourself and your partner, if they're not about trying to become healthier, I'm not even saying try to get crazy about it, but take a few walks, maybe lift a little bit, maybe pick up something healthier, maybe don't eat as much. Maybe every single time where you guys enjoy your time doesn't have to be with food. And if they're not about it, you need to double take a little bit, or you need to really try to evaluate somehow.
I think we should go over maybe like a couple strategies to like they might be corny, you know, but like, you know, can you get your partner, or can they get you to like meet them halfway on something? You know, can you meet each other halfway on something? So you're going to go and you're going to go to whatever downtown favorite area restaurant that it is that you really love. There's so many strategies that can be employed, but stuff that you could do. There's stuff you could obviously do individually. We've talked a ton about those things that you could do individually on this show. We've talked before about protein leveraging. You can eat a little something, you know, an hour or two before you go. That will dissipate your need to like want to annihilate every single thing that is on your table and on the table next to you. But as a team, as a united front, as I like to call it, and that's what I think you are trying to ideally get together with, is somebody that will allow you to have a united front. You know, somebody that has very similar ideas and concepts and beliefs. They don't have to all match up all the time. It's actually really nice when they don't. And that person can have their belief there and you can have yours there, and you can get along just fine. But you're trying to have like a united front. And one of the things that is nice to unite on is some sort of code or some sort of standard to try to hold yourself accountable to with fitness and with like just weight management. It's not a tough thing to think about, or it might be a tough thing to talk about sometimes, but because it can be sensitive. But when you go to a restaurant, can you, on your drive there, can you agree and say, hey, you know what, the last time they put down that bread, like we just inhaled it, and we also got the dessert. Let's make a decision right now. Let's do one or the other, but let's try to, you know, pinky promise, like let's not do both, you know, and almost like a message to your future self. Hey, I'm going to say this when we sit down that I want the bread. Don't let me order it, you know, don't let me say yes to it. So, you know, just like what are some strategies maybe people can employ when they, obviously you can pick better places, because if you go to like an Italian restaurant, there's really not a choice on the menu where you can make a halfway decent decision. So what do you guys think?
Don't go to Cheesecake Factory, because that bread, dog, that brown bread, it is so good. You know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
right?
They have that at Outback too.
They do?
That same kind of bread. Yeah, what is that bread?
I don't know. But it's just the brown bread. It's just so, you put some butter with it. I take chunks of butter when I've gone there. chunk the butter on it.
Ice cream scoops worth of butter.
And it just melts with the warm bread
Dude,
in
I used to
your
just
mouth.
sit there and watch my kids eat bread, and I would just be like sweating. And it wasn't even, and I'm such an asshole, it wasn't even because I wanted to eat it. It was just because I was like, what is going to happen with this? This is fucking crazy.
Yes.
They're on their 4th thing of bread. They ate a whole stick of butter at this point, and like my brain's going ding, 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 ding. And my son is like ordering a Coke and stuff. I'm like, just let him do his own shit. Let him do his own shit. Well, we've talked about this, you know, so that's why I would just let them be like autonomous, because I'm like, I have talked to them about this. They got to make their own choices, even though they're 7 or 8. I got to just sit here and just watch it. They don't make those. They don't do that shit anymore, which is awesome. Like Jake doesn't fucking touch the bread and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, this could definitely backfire, especially if somebody likes to cook and bake and stuff. But like I told Melvin, I'm like, hey, like if you and your wifey want to like indulge in anything sweet or whatever, you feel like you need something, like you have to make it at home. Like don't go to the store and get something that's already made, because that's too easy. I'm like, if you want something, like make it worth it, but also like bake it or whatever it is, you know, like put it together yourself, like, cause it's going to create a couple hurdles, right? You got to get all the extra shit, and then you got to spend the time to make it. And like I said, this could easily backfire if, you know, you're somebody that likes to bake. And so you're kind of already like, you know, like Rosemary Belling it, like what are they called?
Cookie bars?
Cookie bars, right? Yeah. Like that could backfire. But if you are used to buying, you know, like donuts and shit that's already kind of like even drive-through shit, right? If you can just be like, okay, we're going to have something after dinner this Friday night, but we have to make it. Like, shit, okay, let me figure out what's all involved in this and then spend the time. And then even that's something you can do together. Hopefully you can get the whole family involved. But
there's calories being burned while you're trying to make some stuff. You're moving around the kitchen together.
Also, there's the awareness of like, oh, I'm about to dump this much sugar. Oh, fuck. Let me back that up a little bit, you know, versus what you just buy something.
Yeah,
you know?
but and it also, it prevents the like, okay, I'm going to get 2 boxes of whatever, like the Hostess donuts or whatever it is, and then we're probably only gonna eat 1 though, and then it's like, shit, we got 1.5. I might as well just go for the second.
Do you
one.
guys have any idea how fucking fat we would be if we all lived together and fucked each other all the time?
He just wanted to. Wait, what was that?
He threw that last bit in there.
Just hella casually, hella just slid it in.
Literally.
Did I say something wrong?
Nah, dog, you're all good. Yeah, we'd be super
If we
fat.
were in a throuple,
We'd be super fat and
Throuple.
we'd be really loose.
we'd all be 300 pounds.
We wouldn't get anything done.
300 pounds, lotion everywhere. Just
Let's go get some donuts.
Mark would be like, Andrew, you need to get more energy. Here, eat some more food.
Mark, you were the sus one this time. You were the sus one this time. Finally, it's not me.
That's me.
The one time.
But Andrew, on the note of what you were saying, like at home, Sam and I, we do not buy. Like we don't buy things like she could be a chocolate queen. Well, she is a chocolate queen, but like she loves the food. She loves the food type of chocolate too, right? So we don't purchase things that we would both like go. I got you. Huh? I'll have you know I got you.
That was really good.
Good. Hey, we get over there. But we don't buy things that we're going to binge on. We don't keep it in the house because it's super easy to go to the cabinet. Like you were saying, first off, if you do want to make something, okay, go to the store, buy the ingredients. But if like for some reason a craving hits, it's not in the freezer, then there's a barrier of like, I got to think about this. Mm-hmm. Okay, then I have to go to the store if I do want to get this. So then it's like, by the time you're like, oh, fuck, you get yourself some food. You make yourself something that's healthier. And then if you do choose to go to the store and get that one thing, if you do choose to get that one thing, don't kill yourself over it. At least you're not keeping it in the house. And that in and of itself will save you from eating so much unnecessary crap just by not keeping it in the house, that when you go and you get it once, don't beat yourself up. Have it and move on.
Yeah. My wife and I, a lot of times we'll cook at home and then we'll go out. And when we go out, we really don't eat. We'll have a couple drinks. That's about all we'll do, because we know that we're going to cook up food at the house that's going to taste exactly the way we want it. We're going to make it the exact way that we want it. We're going to choose the Piedmontese beef, and we know we're going to have a steak that's lean and tender, and it's going to be the restaurant stuff is great. Like, it's really nice to have a nice experience at a restaurant, but restaurant also takes a long time. Like, it takes like, I don't know, it takes like an hour at least. every time you go to a restaurant. And it can be very expensive, especially if you really like steak. You start to go to some nice steak restaurants and stuff. That shit can be pricey. Doing it at home is like so much better. And then having a family, if I leave my kids and just say, hey, just order DoorDash, like they don't really eat, they're not normal kids. Like they don't eat like a bunch of really junky stuff. They're going to order stuff that's still like fairly healthy. But in a lot of cases, people are just leaving their kids and the kids are just gnawing down a bunch of frozen pizza or whatever. So I think when you cook at home, then everybody gets to eat and everybody gets to eat a healthier thing. And you're all involved with each other. You're all right there with each other. It's different.
Yeah. And so kind of going back to like the making the dessert at home, like I wouldn't want to tell somebody that's like asking for advice, and I get this from Mark, like I don't want to take that away from you, right? I'm going to be like, no more donuts, no more cake, no more cupcakes or whatever. Don't buy that shit anymore. Instead, I can be like, you can have whatever you want, but like you just have to make it. Like it sounds kind of like a pain in the ass, but what's going to happen is, one, it's going to taste way better than anything that you're going to buy out of a box. So it might actually kind of deter you the next time you go to the store and be like, well, that shit's pretty good, but it's not as good as the stuff I can make. I'm going to see if I can just spend more time and, at home and make it. I know it's obviously it's really fucking easy to buy like a candy bar or something, but it just, again, if we can make this little switch of like, okay, if we are going to do something, we're going to make it count and we're going to make it at home.
I'm not a big time sharer, but that strategy can help too. It's like sharing food when you go out to eat. Sometimes it gives you an opportunity to eat something slightly different.
You share? You share your plate?
No. But
I eat everyone else's.
So a lot of times what happens is we'll order we won't order like one meal to eat together. We'll order like, we usually order 3 meals and I eat like 2 of them. It's kind of what happens. But I don't know. Sometimes there's like a fish option and a steak option. Like I kind of want to eat both. And my wife's like, I know you want to eat both, so you can have some of mine as long as you give me some of your, that kind of thing.
There you go.
So we kind of share like that. And then also too, like if there is something on the menu where you're like, that's going to set me back. Like that one kind of cost a lot in terms of like my calories. They have some sort of crazy like mac and cheese thing with pork belly in it or something like that. And you're like, I'm not leaving this place without ordering that. Just stupid of me not to.
Yeah.
That's where it's great to kind of share something like that. And yes, you had some of it, but what'd you have? Like, I don't know, a big old handful of it. It's not like you ate that wasn't your main meal.
And as somebody who's not like a big, I don't really follow a ketogenic diet, or I like carbs. I'm going to have carbs. But if there's a situation where you are going out, even if you're not on a keto diet, if you just like keto it that night, like you could end up being like pretty damn good. Because what are you going to get? You're probably
you can always keto it at any restaurant.
You're going to get something that's high in protein and high in fat, and you're not going to really be able to go too crazy on it. But you can say like, all right, Andrew said I could order whatever I want as long as it's, low carb. I'm like, yeah, sure, go for it. You might end up wasting some money because you probably might end up ordering too much food and realize like, wow, I'm actually tired of eating.
I got to add to that because at restaurants, it's so rare to get carbs without a lot of fat in them.
Oh yeah.
So you're going to like be way over your caloric limit. Like if you get some sort of potato, it's going to be amazing, but they're going to like put all kinds of shit in there.
Unless you fast.
There's that strategy as well. Yep. We're going to fast together. Your girlfriend's like, fuck you.
Yeah, she don't like that. But hey. But I was going to mention, along with what Andrew just mentioned there, we talked about this multiple times, but have some protein before you go out and eat. Like either do 2 scoops of protein or maybe have a bunch of like, you can get a bunch of those hard-boiled eggs. Just have some source of protein before you go out. You may not want to do it, but you'll notice you'll make better decisions because you're not as hungry as you typically would be at that restaurant. So that's something that's super easy to do. And along with that, it's super surprising the type of really good tasting shit you can make super simply. Like, for example, if you have a Ninja blender, I like whole milk, but I'll use fucking some milk. 2 scoops of vanilla, this is the way. Put in some raspberries, some strawberries in there.
Now you're talking.
And with some ice, and I'll blend it up. It tastes so fucking good.
Unbelievable.
And I'm not going to say it's the same as a Gimme S'more Ben and Jerry's, but it hits the same spot. It hits the same spot. So
when you're done eating that, you feel satisfied enough to not make a bad decision.
Exactly. So if you get yourself one of those little Ninja blenders, that's just a great tool, or any little blender you want, and you can make such good stuff that you're going to find you have way less cravings for things that aren't the best decision. I'm not saying you'll never have your Ben and Jerry's again, but you'll definitely have it less frequently. And the fact that you're having it less frequently will help you get to a better body composition.
I take some yogurt, I throw some This Is the Way protein in there, and I dump some blueberries and some strawberries in there, or blueberries and bananas or something like that. And it's great. It just tames the fat guy. You know, it slows him down a little bit. You know, it makes him go up a couple flights of stairs. You know, so nice. I think any strategy you can employ like that is great. And again, like instead of, I don't know, dessert at restaurants, I know some people probably don't believe this, but like I don't think they're that good. Like they're not that good. They're not nearly as good as the junk that you could buy at the grocery store. Yeah, like the grocery, like getting some like. Getting some like fresh cookies or some shit like that. That's pretty dope. But restaurant, like, I don't know. I don't really love the desserts there. But anyway,
have you guys
get your ass home and get yourself a legendary Pop-Tart or the new legendary
sweet roll,
tasty pastry, or like a sweet roll.
A sweet roll.
Those things are fucking awesome. Like, there's a lot of options nowadays to where you can kind of hit that sweet tooth.
There you go.
Sweet roll. These are actually really fucking good. And I finally warmed up the chocolate one for 15 seconds.
Yeah,
fucking melted.
It's so good.
I want to ask you guys: have you guys ever had from any Thai restaurant
I don't think I've ever been to a Thai restaurant, bro.
Anyway,
you've had Thai food with us before, I think. We ordered it here, like at this facility that we're
in. Okay.
Real quick though, have you ever had that sticky rice type of? It's like a sticky rice with fruit dessert that they have at those Thai restaurants, and it's warm.
Yeah, that shit's good.
That's something you need to try, Andrew. That is actually worth it. It's very worth it. Y'all got to try that at least once. All Thai restaurants will have something like that on their dessert menu. So sorry,
That's
I know
great.
We keep making progress, and then we take a few steps back.
Let's take a really easy step forward, which is what I always say is just like no liquid calories. Like there's I know
except for from protein.
So that's different. That's an experience. But
look how strong my hands are getting.
You're getting so
having fun with those?
Jacked over there.
If you guys are wondering, I got these on Amazon. These are the Drop Sky finger spreaders. If you want stronger finger extensors, go to Amazon. They're pretty cheap. Drop Sky is the brand.
Or I could fucking karate chop a motherfucker with these fingers now.
You're going to flick the fuck out of somebody.
It's going to be nuts.
You're going to be so good at that, like when you kick field goals with your hands, or you're going to flick it, you're going to fucking do 100 yards. What's that?
I can keep this position for as long as I want.
Yeah.
Strongest extensors ever.
I got it.
Wink. Anyway, you were saying about liquid calories?
I don't remember, but just there's Diet Coke everywhere. I know it's fucking not as good as the regular stuff, but like in that moment, it doesn't cost you anything on your caloric intake, and it's still fizzy. And it's
you're more
really
of a
good.
Zero guy though than a diet guy, right?
Yeah.
Like
I got the zeros are really good, but they don't serve those anywhere. So like I will ask if they have Diet Coke, and they're like, no, we only got Diet Pepsi, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to eat, drink shit. So can I have water instead? Because Diet Pepsi's gross.
I went somewhere and they had a zero. Sprite.
Sprite Zero? Yeah.
Damn, that's
I know.
Wait,
like
out of all the things
to get that served is like rare. You know?
You're right. Actually, you never see that at restaurants.
But you can't even like find Sprite Zero usually. Like
it's
you can't find Sprite Zero in grocery stores.
Yeah, I never do.
You can, but it's not easy.
Yeah.
I actually stopped drinking Sprite Zero for a little bit because I was going over.
Downing it.
I was really.
I remember now. Yeah,
it was pretty bad. Like even though it's 0 calories and whatever, I went
like,
too hard.
Maybe it's not a good idea.
There was a day I had a full 2 liter.
Yeah, that's great.
Actually, I did that for 2 days. I had a 2 liter and another 2 liter. I was like, dog. As much, even though it's not adding up in calories, your gut's not happy.
There's something going on there.
Let's get back to this topic of love, because that's kind of where some of this started, and we haven't even really dove into that. We're just talking about the calories because we're such fucking idiots. But like, I don't know. Like, I just think that like every relationship is so different, and I think a lot of people could say, "Oh yeah, we in the beginning we did gain weight together." I just would you know, being someone that is into like health and fitness, I would just be cautious with that. It's just a slippery slope. I've seen it's really interesting. You'll be in a part of your life where people are like, you're so young. You're only 23, you're only 21, you're only 19, you're so young. Like you hear my son like and Owen and his buddies, you guys are so young. Wow, you guys are so young. You're so young. You're so young. Then all of a sudden, you're like 30. And 30's not necessarily old or anything like that, but it's older than 19. It's different, right? Then you're 35. Like all of a sudden, you're like 35 or 40, and you're like, this is not possible. How do I kind of look like my uncle that I used to see every Christmas? Like I'm kind of fat like him. I'm kind of bald like him. I kind of, and you're just like, there's just not possible. Like that could not have happened to me. But sure as shit, it did. Like you didn't make the progress that you wanted. You didn't do some of the things that you wanted. And you're fucking you're trapped.
I'm sorry. Are you about to say trash? I'm sorry.
You're trash. You're a trashy motherfucker.
Trapped.
No, I just seen it happen. Like I've seen it happen with a lot of people. And it's just, it happens because you're thinking like, I got time. I got time. Oh, it's not a big deal. I gained a little weight after we got married. But you said the same thing about when you went to college, you know, and you said the same thing about how you're going to lose weight next year. And now it's next year and we're still waiting for the follow through. Like, so I would just be cautious of that. It's great to enjoy each other. It's fucking enjoy the shit out of each other and fuck each other until you can't use your shit anymore. Like all that stuff's great. Do it for hours on end and see how long you can go for.
Power Project family, how's it going? Now we talk about meat a lot on this podcast, which is why we've partnered with Piedmontese and have for years now, because they have some of the best beef on the planet. All right, Piedmontese beef has cuts that are fattier in terms of their ribeyes, and they have also cuts that are leaner in terms of their flat irons, but you can get cuts for no matter what diet you're on. Andrew, how can they get their hands on it?
Yeah, head over to Piedmontese.com. That's Piedmontese.com. And at checkout, enter promo code POWER for 25% off your entire order. And if your order is $150 or more, you get free 2-day shipping. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes.
Dog, I get bricked up every time my girl asks me to fucking make her ground beef. It's like, yeah, eat that 98 too.
You get all excited.
It's like, yes. No, but the habits, it's literally all about the habits. For example, again, not everything within a relationship is broken down to how healthy do you keep yourself, but that is a factor. Because I think my last relationship, partner didn't have great health habits. Partner didn't have great life habits. Like she'd sleep super late sometimes. Like things didn't work out. Now I'm sleeping at 8:30.
Would have worked out great if you gained weight with her.
Yo, that
Andrew, has that happened to you? And either you?
Yeah. So like, my first marriage, we had no idea, period. So it was just like, how much fun can we have? And then just by having fun, like, which just meant to like me drinking like a lot, just like, so I gained weight there, but like I was so small that like, oh, well, the scale still says I'm like under 200 pounds. So like, I'm not fat, but like, if you look at my body, it was gross. It was like, what's like Bill Gates status, where it's just like real, like just scrawny everywhere, but just like real lumpy. And like, I didn't have man boobs, thank goodness, but like I was not healthy.
Yeah.
And then now, like, it was actually the thing that like drew us together with my wife now is like, we were both into fitness, and like, that was my excuse to just hang out with her, period. Was just like, oh, let's go do CrossFit together. And it's like, oh, there's this hot chick, so I'm going to do whatever the fuck it takes to, be with her more. So, again, like, so in the past, it was not on the radar. Fitness was a thing that like only certain people were into, because that's just like how they were. Like they were like basically born into it. They didn't work for it, and then now it is the lifestyle. It's the habits. Like, it would be insanely rare for us to like go to the grocery store and bring home. I don't even know what you would bring home to like put in like the fridge or the cupboard to be like, we're going to eat that dessert like later today or tomorrow or whatever. Part of it not started, but part of like the main like blocker is my wife has a gluten intolerance. So it's like really cool because now we can't just like buy whatever and eat whatever. So it actually is like really nice, which is not nice for her because like sometimes she'll accidentally get glutened and then like her stomach blows up and stuff and it's like painful. But like we would never do that. Like it's super. And if we do want to like have something, like the other day, she wanted a dipped cone from Wiener Schnitzel. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. And we went and we got it, and then that was it. But like we didn't, have anything left over. Like it was just that one thing. And so like that's just how everything's been going since.
And what about in your other relationship? Did you ever stop and think about it or not really?
No, well, actually, let me think about this.
Where you're like, I should maybe go to the fucking gym or something.
Yeah, I had no idea what to do. And I started like running, but I had no idea. But I did always think like, I got time. Because I was like, like 24, 25, somewhere in there. And I was just like, eventually someday, like I'll figure it out.
I'm young.
But for now, I'm going to, get really good at NBA 2K. And I'm going to, get ready for this weekend to start drinking again. So the thought was there, but I had no idea how to get there. So I was just like, well, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm not going to try.
That's why, honestly, dude, the concept of like both people wanting to develop themselves in different ways, I'm not meaning trying to get in the craziest shape ever, but like just trying to become better is super helpful because, in marriage vows, they have, you'll love me in sickness and in health. And sickness is sickness, right? But purposefully allowing yourself to have really bad habits that lead you towards gaining a lot of weight. I hear about one partner is trying to have the other partner, develop better habits, but you're supposed to love me as I am. Like, aren't you supposed to love me for who I am, even though this is who I am now, right? And that is really, really tough for some people. That's why you got to really evaluate what are the habits this person has and are they cemented into their lifestyle? Because, if they have these habits now and if they're drinking a lot, if they're barely moving, if they don't really have anything they do for their physical exercise, it doesn't have to be the gym, it doesn't have to be just something that they do to keep their body moving. They don't have that and they're not interested in that, but they're bad right now because they're 22. Hey, that shit will get bad. Yeah. You can get away with shit when you're younger, but if you maintain those bad habits, men and women, keep in mind and watch the person you're with. If you're young, watch the habits they have. Because if they're not changing those habits, don't think they'll change them later. You'll be 30, you'll be 35, you'll be 40. The person might have the same fucking habits. And if they do, you stuck yourself in that situation.
I think also, too, it's hard for somebody to be who you signed up for if the person is like ill. Like, I'm not talking about like they ran into some crazy disease or something or got hit by a car or anything like that. But I'm talking about like their own personal responsibility of taking care of themselves.
Yes.
So if you're like, well, this is who you married, but you're 100 pounds heavier, there's not just body weight involved in that. That's not just an aesthetic thing. There's so many things that surround that. Maybe you used to love skiing together, or maybe there's a lot of things that'll probably diminish that probably won't be able to return unless the person starts to make some different choices. So I just think it could be a slippery slope. In your case, Andrew, do you think it like worked at all? Like you said, you gained weight in your first marriage. Like, did you feel like you were in love and getting fat and happy?
No. And that's good. Good question, because what I was going to bring up was that the two clips that we showed, it was the girl, like apparently, she seems like she's happy on the surface. Hopefully she is in this relationship. And then the other couple, they were bigger and they still seem to be happily in love because they're really in love according to that study.
Yeah.
But I would say it's probably more common to be the opposite, because that's what happened to me. The more out of shape we got, the less attractive we were to each other and the less love there was, like it was super easy to like, oh, look, Instagram, right? Now my feed does not look the same these days. Okay.
Hey, let me hit up the X videos real quick.
Yeah, right.
Spank bang for a quick second. Xhamster.com. You don't know Xhamster? It was a good one back in the day.
Did it have hamsters in it?
No.
Like, wait a second.
It had videos you couldn't find in other spots, but continue.
Oh, got it. No, just so I would say it's more normal for the opposite to happen, where, like I said, because in our relationship, it was just like I felt gross about myself I'm sure like I looked gross to her. Like, you know, it definitely separated us. Now, I don't know if us all of a sudden getting in shape would have saved that marriage or whatever. And I'm just so grateful everything did play out the way it did. But like, I have to imagine that it would have helped. Like if I would have, you know, been like, hey, like I'm going to go on this run. Do you want to go? And I would invite and she would say no. And then I kept trying, but she'd say no. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself then. But maybe if I just tried harder and like, I don't know, helped her, I don't know, just a lot of stuff could have changed, I think, if we were both like putting our health and fitness first.
I just think we tend to blame like every emotion on, we just look for any excuse to gain weight. I met a guy recently, he lost 100 pounds and then he gained back like 30 or 40. And it was really great that he had the self-awareness. He was like, oh man, this is not good because it's not just 30 pounds. This is like my old self is coming back and I need to like make sure that shit doesn't happen. But he said that he and his wife, they had a second baby. And he's like, you know, that set me back. And, you know, it's important, like, it's great that he recognizes that he gained the weight, and I'm not going to say anything. I barely know the guy. I just met him. I'm not going to like, dude, it's not the baby, you know, you're being a fat fuck. Like, I'm not, that's not helpful in any way. But it's not, you know, it's not the baby. It's
as
like
he listens to the episode.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
no. It's like,
Hey, Mark, I heard what you said.
that guy's going to fuck me up. I just think it's important that we recognize that this is something that you can control. You can take control of it. It doesn't really matter that much what's happening in your life because you can find a way to make yourself better. Temporary stuff can be fine. Like you gained some weight because you went away for the weekend and you wanted to really just enjoy the fuck out of wherever the hell it is that you went. You want to have a unique experience of experiencing those foods and those drinks from that particular area or something like that. I think those things make sense, but people tend to just let that keep happening over and over again. It happens through the holidays. It happens on birthdays. Oh, the 49ers are on. It happens because of so many different things. And I think that the habits that you develop over a period of time, you know, it's a really interesting thing when you think about like selfish versus selfless type actions. Because somebody that like, you know, visits a child in the hospital that has cancer or something like that, you would think that that's a completely selfless act, but it's also making the person feel very well. And there's been like studies and research and stuff done on these things and how good it can make you feel. So if we have scientific evidence that is like the best way to like feel really good, that in itself is kind of selfish. But what I think we don't realize, the most powerful thing you can do for other people is to be a fucking savage and is to take care of your own shit for yourself, what seems selfish is not necessarily selfish. The best thing that I can do for this show is to have better prowess and be better at some of the fitnessy type things that I'm doing. If I can be a better runner, if I can be a better dad, if I can be better at stuff, that's the best thing for this show. The best thing for this show is for Nsima to become a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and win a fucking world championship. That's the best fucking thing he can do for this show. It's not necessarily what he can do for me or what he can do for Andrew. He does shit for himself. That's gonna attract a lot of people, a lot of eyes to the show. And same thing with Andrew is now starting jiu-jitsu, which is fucking awesome. I think you've been to 4 or 5 classes already.
Yeah.
That's some savage shit. The best thing we can do for this show is to continue to work on ourselves, because people are going to come to it and they're going to be like, this guy does this and this other guy does that, but this other guy says this and the other guy says that. It's really fucking cool because they all go back and forth. They got different perspectives, and they're not just giving us one perspective. They're giving us 3 different perspectives. Each guy has their own different, unique background, and it's fucking sick.
You know, one of the big concept there, and this is where I think maybe things can get a bit confusing, is number one, you do need to take care of your own shit. Deal with, like, look at yourself, try to see where you're lacking, maybe in terms of your health or your physical habits or your mental health, whatever. Figure out ways where you can get better, right? Because there's another side where I know a few people in my life currently, and I was this person where I was trying to do everything in myself. And in my last relationship, I saw so many problems, right? And I was trying to stay and fix those things because I'm like, well, I don't want to be a bad guy and leave. Like, I love this person. I don't want to leave this person. I want to see how I can help them fix their problems. But it's tough because, like, it's just a J. Cole song, "Don't Save Her, She Don't Want to Be Saved." When a person doesn't want to actually do that shit, it's like it's tough because, like, if you love a person, are you gonna stay? And you still got all your shit. Like, I'm not saying that anybody's perfect. Like, you still have your shit on this end that you need to focus on. Like you just mentioned, you got to focus on your shit. But if you're with someone who doesn't want to do it, or they're super anti trying to improve their health, you're supposed to just dip. Like, when do you call that? You know, because I know quite a few people who I'm just like, oh, fuck, I was that guy who didn't leave in time, and I'm so happy I left. But now I see people, I'm just like, dog, man, maybe you should just get the fuck out. And it's hard because there is love and ties and time. It's difficult.
It's impossible. Like,
it can be.
I mean, sorry, not that it's impossible to, like, know when the right time is, because it's kind of like what Mark was saying, like, oh, you're young now, but then you wake up and it's like you're 35. It's like, well, fuck, maybe things will get better, or, you know, whatever. And then it's like, it actually kind of goes the opposite direction, but then you're like, I don't know, 10 years deep or whatever. And it's like, oh, fuck. Like, then now what are you going to do? Yeah. So I got no advice on that.
Try some bison over there, young man.
Bison. Ooh.
Oh, fuck.
You want some bison, Andrew?
Yeah. I'll
Can we go give him a piece?
Oh, even better.
Oh, sorry.
Come on now. Don't spill it all.
We're eating some carnivore crisps.
Bison?
Those guys are my homies. They're always really good to me. They make all kinds of stuff. They got like liver and heart.
Oh, I got gypped.
They got brisket. Brisket's probably my favorite. They got chicken breast.
Where are my carnivore crisps, you motherfuckers?
Yeah.
I like the chicken breast ones.
I got to have a big old thing shipped to the gym because they're delicious.
Because they're super salty. They taste like potato chips.
They're really good.
And then they do this. They
are really good. Now we're just chewing on the mic.
I know.
Enjoy your ASMR, guys. But hey, if anybody does have, like, maybe some advice for some people, you know what I mean? Because some people are just stuck, right? And love is a tough motherfucker, because when you do love someone, you do overlook so many things. And again, I'm not saying that if you're that person who you're just like trying to help somebody out, you're not perfect either. You know what I mean? So it's like you're trying to work on yourself. But if you love someone, it just gets in the way of all rational thinking.
100%. Right? I think also, too, I would say I would be more understanding of somebody coming out of a relationship more so than being in one and gaining weight. Somebody coming out of a relationship and they're really hurt, like, I get that a little. That makes a little bit more sense, because first person you fall in love with and stuff, or like, I don't know, it can be complicated. I know it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good if you're dumped or if you break up with somebody, regardless of whether they had to break up with you or you broke up with them or whatever. That's a tough spot to be in. And a lot of times those things happen when we're really young. So somebody gaining, 20 pounds or something from something like that, I can totally understand, like, that. I can wrap my brain around that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But getting together with somebody and just enjoying each other and, gaining 20 pounds and 30 pounds and 40 pounds, like, once you have kind of gained a couple when you're together, I think it would be great if you had some sort of self-awareness to make sure that you're not. There's a way of doing this to where you can celebrate each other, where you can have a lot of fun, and where you can, let your guard down and just go for it. But you got to think about it.
Do you guys think, like, like when your girl's like, oh, how do I look in this dress, right? Like, if you can't really say too much, like anything negative, I guess I'll say. So, like, when it comes to, like, oh, fuck, I've gained, whatever, 10, 15 pounds, like, okay, damn, maybe my wife has gained 10, 15 pounds too, or whatever it may be. Like, how do you approach the other person with that? Do you think it's like some of the stuff is like the snowball effect, right? Like, it's kind of like, oh, fuck, we're going down, slippery slope, we're slipping. But, like, how do I even approach her? Because now it's like, fuck, we're both in it. And now do I got to be the asshole that says, hey, we're both bigger than we were when we got married?
Dog, I think this too, dude. there has to be open communication. Like there has to, if there's, a lot of people when they get in relationships, they struggle to have the communication about money, right? Because there may be insecurities about that or whatever, but you have to, if you're trying to be with someone for a long time, something you got to talk about. I think there needs to be more open communication with partners about, hey, like, I'm moving in this direction. You are too. We are not healthy. We are not looking good. I have gained 15 pounds. You have gained 20. But the thing is it's not just looking at the way they look. If you care about somebody, you care about their long-term health. And if you really care about them, you're not going to let them just willy-nilly gain 50 pounds. You know what I mean? It's harsh, but the person that you love should be able to communicate with you, and hopefully they communicate it in a nice way, right? Because bedside manner does matter. Bedside manner does matter. It does matter, but you should be able to say, hey, you're not healthy right now. You're not moving in the right direction. I want your health to be paramount. Let's start dropping some pounds, right? We got to be able to do that with each other.
I think so much of it boils down to people, being like overstressed. Like most people feel like they work really hard. They feel like they're overworked, underpaid, underappreciated. Underappreciated is a big one.
Ooh.
Like you're not really that appreciated by your significant other, or by your family, or I don't know. It's just like that kind of stuff is like always kind of hanging around in the background, and this extra little stress to carry around in your backpack of stress. And when people get home from a long day, you get home from what they would consider to be a long day. And, before they even sit down, the wife's like, hey, let's go out. Like, let's go, eat with so-and-so. Let's go over here. And that thought that you had in the morning or at night, the night before, of like, I'm fucking changing everything, man. Tomorrow, I'm putting my foot down. I'm going back to what I used to do. Those fucking football drills I used to do when we were in high school. Like, I'm gonna start doing some of those.
Or we're in stadiums.
And I'm gonna do fucking push-ups and then you're kind of thinking about when you can do it and where you can do it. Like, as soon as I get home from work, that's what I'm gonna do. And then boom, you walk in the door and the wife or girlfriend or something like that is like, hey, let's go meet up with so-and-so. They're over there. And you're like, okay, cool. And you fucking change and then you're on your way. And you just like totally, swept that issue under the rug. And I get it. People they got other things to do than to play power lifter, bodybuilder, or whatever fucking bullshit life that we have. I remember, one of my friends in wrestling was an older guy, and he had like a very blue collar job. He was like a construction guy, and he's like, all these young guys, like, they don't get it. He goes, what I was doing this morning at 6 a.m.? He's like, I was hauling gravel. He's like, that's what I was doing. He's like, and I still got myself here on time. But a lot of people, they have a lot of responsibilities. They've got a lot of shit they got to do, and so it's different. It is different for them. However, you can still develop a skill set. Like, is everybody around you heavier? Are all the couples that you see, all of the couples that you see, are they all getting heavier together? Is it true of everybody you know? Or are there some people that seem to be navigating it just fine? Are there some people that are really wealthy that are able to navigate it? Are there people in the same tax bracket as you that are managing it? Are there people on your block that are figuring out, And I think if you're being rational and being honest with yourself, you'd say, yep. There's, the guy fucking across the street, he looks great. He's 65 years old and works 50 hours a week, and his wife's a teacher, and they figured, like, people can figure this shit out, get on a bike or get on, what's something that you like to do? What's something you did as a couple that you like to do that can burn some calories? That maybe
fucking,
you're not,
guys, we're talking about fucking.
That you're not doing as much anymore. Like what are some, I think couples can kind of think back into their like little history of how long they've been together, and they can be like, we were in a good routine when we were doing this. Remember we used to lift in the garage a little bit in the morning, like before work or something. Like let's see if we can get that habit back. And then there's the small, like the not small stuff, but the microdosing of fitness into your day, that you can take your own responsibility individually on, but also collectively you can do it as well. And just 10-minute walks, get on some walks, get on some get on something that is going to maybe just start implementing some diet protocols, and maybe you just are. If you can, is there a way for you to make it any less stressful?
Yeah.
Something I learned in my marriage is, which is an interesting question is, and I don't ask myself this every day, but I ask myself this often, is I ask, how do I love you more? How can I figure out a way to love you more? What can I do? Like, how do I? So if I think that way, then I'm not the normal scumbag that I am that just wants to fuck her all the time. I can actually don't really do the dishes, but I will occasionally sometimes do them, or I'll make Jake do them. I'll unload the fucking dishwasher. I'll at least put away the cups. I'll at least put away a couple bowls. I'll at least fucking make a dent. There's
That's good.
some goddamn efforts there here and there.
That's so cute. How can
and
I love you more?
Yeah, how can I love you more? But what can you do? How can you? Let's say your wife works just as much as you do. Maybe you can fucking get home a little early from work one day, and maybe you can cook for both of you.
But I'm a man.
But you cooked up something healthy.
Yeah. That'd be a cool shirt. How could I love you more?
Men don't cook and clean. That's the woman's work.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Barefoot and pregnant.
Guys, I'm just totally fucking with you. That's not true.
Oh.
Yeah.
When did it change?
Women.
When all these blue pill motherfuckers start speaking, man.
Women need to be in the kitchen, and they need to be wearing an outfit of a man's choice.
Who are you, Elliot Hulse?
A French-made outfit.
Dog, Elliot be spitting some wild shit. I gotta really
a nurse, maybe the next. I feel a little congested. I'm not feeling great. Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
But I could just imagine some brazen motherfucker after hearing this episode goes up to his girl like, babe, you need to start taking walks and lose 15 pounds. All right, guy. My guy. My guy, don't do that. Just don't do that. Do it yourself. Be like, hey, honey, I'm going to eat this apple. Want one? Maybe don't do it like that. But
the Power Project did not call you fat. So don't blame it on us.
Yeah, maybe Nsima, you could I don't know, we can put a timestamp down, like a thing to send to your significant other that we need to go on more 10-minute walks or something like that. So that way they could just send it.
Goes right back to what Mark said, man. All of us are working on our own health, like straight up at home. My girl already takes walks, but when I start doing things for myself, like when I'm perpetually starting to put on my blue light blocker, she's like, oh, that actually helps with sleep. I want to start using those. So now she has a pair of blue light blockers, right? So if you're finding out things that are going to help you become healthier, implement them. And then let your partner know, hey, I'm doing this for my health. You want to join in? Because rather than saying you need to do this, if you're by example and you're constantly trying to get better, man or woman, your partner's going to be like, oh, that's pretty sick. I want that benefit.
And maybe you can do something for them that shows that you're supportive of that. Mm-hmm. Maybe they have some fucking clunky headphones that suck and you buy them a new pair or something. There's always something you can do. There's always something, you can, I don't know. My wife just does stuff sometimes when she drives here, she'll pack, a couple of these carnivore crisps, or she'll bring some fruit because she knows I'm going to fucking eat it if she just brings it. Right. So there's always little things you can do that can, cause you're together, you're fucking partners. It's a good idea just to stop for a moment and think about the other person and how do you just, I don't know, take a little bit of stress off their hands. Andrew, take the goddamn baby here and there from the wife so she doesn't lose her mind.
Mm-hmm. She walks a ton, so I got her some Vivo. I got her quite a few pairs of Vivos.
There you go.
Right? And she's loving those.
Mm-hmm. That kind of shit right there,
Yeah.
Get her a mop, a broom, a good frying pan.
A new cast iron, babe. I know you love it. Here's a new cast iron.
Super high quality vacuum. They love that.
Go crazy with it.
A Dyson? Oh my God.
I got you a new washer and dryer. Here you go.
Mm-hmm. And here's my stinky underwear.
Oh, God.
That's fucking amazing.
Guys, these are jokes.
But they don't have to be. We're idiots.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, I got you this nice skimpy dress you could wear around the house as you.
For sure.
Mom.
Why would I be dressed up cleaning the house? I don't know. These are my
Just-
fantasies.
yeah.
Don't ruin them for me.
You said you wanted me to be more open about what's going on in my head. Well, here you go.
Yeah. Be careful what you wish for.
Congratulations.
Oh Lord.
But as far as being like an example or whatever that you were just talking about, like I've been going on about like the breath work from Justin Lovato, and it's fucking incredible. I highly recommend everybody go check out that episode and then the video, and then kind of follow it up with his Instagram and stuff. But he was actually he put out a 15-minute version, because like the one that I was doing, it's like a full hour, right?
Yeah.
So you got to kind of commit. And my wife, well, like, I mean, she does take care of the kid way more than I do. So, like, for her to be like, I need to be blindfolded for an hour, like, this is tough. But she's like, I hear you talking about it so much. Like, and I want to experience this. And sure enough, so she got the 15-minute one, and she, like, had a really cool, like, awesome, like, out-of-body experience doing it. And so, like, again, like, if I were to come out and be like, oh, you need to do breath work or whatever, like, I mean, she's awesome. That's why I married her. So she would have been receptive. But, like, it wasn't, it was really easy for her to like even give it a shot, because she's seen me do it and talk about it, like all the benefits and stuff. And like, again, an hour is like a long time, and you do have to commit to this, breath work, but she was like really pumped to do it, and she did it. And, Justin posted like her experience too, and it was just fucking cool. So like being the example, I think, is like probably the easiest way to go about it. So long as like she's not like, oh, who are you trying to get in shape for or whatever. But if she does ask, like, for you,
Bitch, you.
well, you don't say bitch, but
Y'all know that Key and Peele sketch?
Oh God,
Yeah.
that's
Incredible.
amazing.
I said,
That's one of my. Those guys are so good.
great.
They're incredible.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I guess kind of in conclusion here on what we were talking about today, one of the reasons why this was brought to my attention, I guess a lot of the comments on those videos were popping off quite a bit, and people were like supportive of people gaining weight, in a relationship, saying like, yeah, that's part of being in love. And I just don't think it is. But I think it's your own prerogative. You get to choose whatever you'd like. But I don't think that it has to be part of anything. And I don't think it makes sense just to be so haphazard with your health. Maybe doing it occasionally, of course, makes sense. Celebrate, have fun, have a good time. It's your life, and you get to kind of choose and do what you'd like with it. But I do think that if you're going to start to gain some weight together, it's a good idea to start to think about that a little bit and think about what are some things am I gonna do. You could start listening to some podcasts. You can start to look at some books. There's like just so many different places you can go get help now. There's many different websites that have prepped meals and things like that, or you can learn to meal prep by going on YouTube. I mean, Andrew mentioned cooking at home. I think that's a great suggestion. We talked about eating protein before you head out to eat. So eat something before you eat. It's a huge strategy. I think that's great. And Nsima's pointing to our sticky buns over there. We got some legendary
Pastries.
Oh my god.
legendary tasty pastries, and there's a lot of options when it comes to hitting your cravings without going over your calories. And obviously there's things like Piedmontese, these carnivore crisps, like things that are going to make things a lot easier for you and make things things can be difficult for people, and I think that's why they sometimes don't address it and don't do anything about it. So the more convenience that you can have, and again, don't forget to partner up. Try to do things together. And maybe your wife loves to run and you hate it, but can you go and just like do a walk run with her or something? You know what I mean? Like just think of some shit that you can do together. I think is a good idea. Andrew, take us on out of here, buddy.
After I burp.
Oh, hey now.
My bad. Thank you everybody for checking out today's episode. Please stay tuned for Smelly's tip, and head over to powerproject.live for everything in regards to the podcast. But if you want to check out the Devil Pussy mug and then the shirt that Mark's wearing, and then soon to be re-released, the Think Less shirt will be on there very soon, along with something else that I don't think we want to tease quite yet. I'm not sure. Maybe you can. It's up to you, Nsima. But yeah, please follow the podcast at MB Power Project on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. My Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter is at I am Andrew Z. Make sure you guys hit that like button on your way out. And Nsima, where you at?
At Nsima Inyang on Instagram and YouTube, at Nsima Inyang on TikTok and Twitter. And for all the women I offended during this podcast, I am not sorry. Mark?
You could send your panties to P.O. Box.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, what? Hello? We still on?
Yeah.
So this is something I just been thinking about a little bit more in terms of like motivation. People are thinking about, motivation all the time. And I say motion is the lotion. If you get moving, you'll find yourself motivated. So that's always my first go-to. But I found that just hacks in general, like there's a lot of like life hacks that they're not even necessarily motivation and they're not necessarily motivating, but there's hacks that you can utilize in your life. There's skill sets that you can utilize in your life that almost, they cut out needing to be motivated for it. And obviously once you ingrain like a habit over time, that then becomes part of your character. And then you're just like super chill about it. And Steve and I were having a little bit of discussion about like lifting. Like we kind of almost don't care about lifting, but of course we care about it because we're meatheads. We love it. But we also it has been such a part of our lives. And for you, Andrew, as well, it's been part of all three of our lives for so long that it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
So if we didn't get to lift before the podcast, we're just going to lift after the podcast. And if for some reason there wasn't much lifting going on for a particular day, there's some sort of lifting or some sort of exercise because we don't really have a day off, right? Mm-hmm. But I think if you can kind of look at some of the things that you're trying to get motivated with and start to think about how can I hack them a little bit, like let's just say that you just say to yourself, every morning before I shower, I'm going to meditate for 5 minutes and I'm going to do 20 push-ups. Over time, that little hack, it doesn't need a motivating factor. It's associated with the shower, or it's associated, the trigger for it is brushing your teeth. When I brush my teeth, I'm going to know I'm going to do these 10 push-ups and do these things. So there's a lot of stuff like that the three of us do, and it's probably for like a longer podcast that are hacks that we don't even really think of. Because like I'm not motivated to like be on my diet necessarily, but when I utilize protein leveraging and I do it over and over again, it's a hack that keeps me on course. We said earlier about eating what are the sticky bun things called?
Sweet rolls.
Sweet rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So if you eat a sweet roll from Legendary Foods, it's not like it tastes like an actual sticky bun. They do taste really good. It may not taste like the thing that's your favorite thing, mm-hmm. but it's enough of a hack to keep you motivated enough to stay on course because it's fucking close enough. So try to figure out some hacks that you kind of implement into your life that will allow you to almost completely cut out the factor of trying to be motivated. Strength is never weakness, weakness is never strength. Catch you guys later.